Guruji, you can start.
Yeah. Smriti-Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-Pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru-Paramparam Vasudeva-Sutam Devam Kamsa-Chanora-Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. On the occasion of Sri Krishna Janmashtami, we are very fortunate to be able to continue with our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, along with the commentary of Sri Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada, with the blessings of our Acharya Swamiji. We are now in chapter 13, shloka number 9, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. What is Kshetra? What is Kshetrajna? With reference to our individual self. The body is the Kshetra, the Jivatma is the Kshetrajna. But Bhagavan immediately made it very clear that if there are crores of bodies, there are not crores of Kshetrajna. There is only one Kshetrajna, that is Paramatma, who manifests himself in all bodies as if it is its individual Jivatma. Now and he described the constituents of the Kshetra and the characteristics of the Kshetrajna. Now, our aim is to become Kshetrajna, to join Kshetrajna as an inseparable part of Kshetrajna. That is Moksha Shastra. So for that, what are the virtues we have to cultivate? So that he is listing. Now we are on shloka number 9, which continues with that list. Asaktiranabhishvangaha putradara grihadishu nityam cha samachittatvam Ishtanishtopapatishu Putradara Grihadishu Asaktihi. Asakti is non-attachment. Sakti is attachment. Non-attachment to son, to wife, to house, even house. People have attachment even to house. Adishu, etc. This is not an exhaustive list. This is only an indicative list. Putra, Dara, Griha. So that's why he says Adishu. So wherever your mind gets attached, you have to practice detachment. Anabhishvangaha. The first is attachment. That is asakti, non-attachment. Abhishvangaha is excessive love. Anabhishvangaha is absence of excessive love. Abhishvango nama sakti vishesha. First is sakti. The second is sakti vishesha. Ananya atma bhavana lakshanaha. Yatha anyasmin sukhini dukkhini va ahameva sukhi. Ahameva dukhi. If somebody feels happy, I feel happy. If somebody feels miserable, I feel miserable. If somebody is alive, I feel alive. If somebody is dead, I feel dead. This is excessive love. Shankara quotes all these examples. Jivati mriteva ahameva jivami manishyami chayati. Adigrahanat anyeshvapi atyanta ishteshu dasavargadishu. That Adi has been explained by Shankara as it includes servants, attendants. Some people get attached to those people. Now next is Nityam cha samachittatvam ishta anishta upapattishu. Ishta anishta upapattishu. Whenever something favorable happens, whenever something unfavorable happens. In case of both, in the face of unfavorable as well as favorable happenings, Nityam cha samachittatvam. Always be equanimous. Always. No exception. Always be equanimous. Tulya chittata. Samachittatvam tulya chittata. Always be equanimous. Ishtopapattishu na hrishyati na kupyati cha anushtopapatishu. When something favorable happens, you become extremely delighted. When something unfavorable happens, you become extremely miserable. So that should not be there. Now, for this, I picked up couple of Niti Shatakam shlokas. One is, Ye santosha sukha pramoda muditaha tesham na binnamudo ye tvanye thana lubdha tankuladhiyaha tesham na trishna इत्थं कस्य कृते कृतस्य विधिना तादृक्पदं सम्पदां स्वात्मन्येव समाप्त हेम महिमा मेरुर्न मे रोचते. He says Meru mountain, this shloka is about Meru mountain. Meru mountain is entirely made of gold, and that is the tallest mountain. The amount of gold you can imagine. He says, what is the use of that golden mountain? He is questioning the use of that. Those who are satisfied with their Lord, they don't care whether it is gold or not. Ye santosha sukha pramoda muditaha tesham na bhinnamudo. Their happiness is not affected whether Meru mountain has gold or not, whether it does not have gold. Ye tvanye dhana lubdha tankuladhiyaha tesham na trishna. Those who are after money, those who are not satisfied with any amount of money, for them even golden Meru is not adequate. Their greed is not satisfied. Itham kasya krite kritasya vidhina sadhrikpadam sampadam. What for did Brahma create this Meru mountain when it is not useful to those who have detachment and those who have excessive attachment? Both cases it is not useful. Swatmanyeva samapta hema mahima merurna me rochate. Hema mahima, the glory of the gold that is there in the mountain. Swatmani eva samapta. It is, the glory is contained within itself. What is glory? Glory is something which is known to others, isn't it? That is mahima. Any mahima for that matter. When it is known to others, when it is made use of by others, when it is praised by others, then that is a useful mahima. Whereas this glory is innate. It's of no use to anyone. Nobody wants to use it. That kind of Meru is not, I don't like it. Meruhu name rochate. That is how, in his own poetic manner, our Bhartrahari talks about it. Next is one more. Of course, both are in a very different tune. Both are in a very different line of thinking. Varam pranachedaha समदमघवन्मुक्तकुलिश प्रहारैरुद्गच्छत् बहुलदहनोद्गारगुरुभिः तुषाराद्रे सूनु अहः पितरिक्लेशविवशे न चाकोऽहं पातः पयति पयसां पत्युरुचितः. Now this is a story of Mainaka mountain. This Mainaka mountain reference comes in Sundarakandam of Valmiki Ramayana. When Hanuman crosses the ocean for reaching Lanka, he has an encounter with Mainaka mountain. So there was a time when, this is the story, there was a time when all the mountains had ability to fly. They had wings. And because if mountains start flying and they start landing on habitations, it started creating trouble for humans and other animals. So rishis went and spoke to Indra. So Indra immediately took his Vajrayuda and cut off the wings of all the mountains so that they remain where they are. So in that process, all the mountains got their wings cut. But Mainaka, who is the son of Himavan, he did not want to lose his wings. So what he did, he hid himself inside the ocean. He hid himself inside the ocean. That is how he escaped. But his own father, Himalayas, he had his wings cut. Instead of helping his father when the father was in trouble, this fellow abandoned his father and went and hid himself inside the ocean, and Bhartrihari is ridiculing Mena. That is the story. So he says, that is how people become selfish. Param pranakshedaha samadam aghavan muktakulisha praharehi. Samadam aghavan, Maghava is Indra. With all his arrogance, he employed his Vajrayudha. Kulisha is Vajrayudha. And when he employed this Vajrayudha, Udgachat Bahula Dahanodgara Gurubhihi, it's created lot of fire. Vajrayudha is so powerful. When the wings were cut, it caused a lot of fire in the mountain. Bahula, tremendous amount of fire. Udgachan, it went up, the flames went up. So, Pitari Klesha Vivashe, when this kind of intolerable grief, misery, when his father was going through, Tusharadre Sunuhu, Tusharadre is Himava. So his son, ahaha, he is criticizing. That's why he's using the expression ahaha, ahaha. Nacha asau sampadaha payasa payasam patyu ruchitaha payasam patyuhu, ocean, the Lord of all waters. There he went and dropped himself in the ocean. This is not appropriate. Na uchitaha varam pranachedaha. Instead of doing that, he could have sacrificed his own life in that fire, in the act of protecting his father from the fire. If he were to lose his life, that would have been better rather than his protecting himself by dropping himself in the ocean in order to protect himself. That is, in short, how one should be caring for others and not for himself. Because that is all, the whole philosophy is that. So that he is explaining here. Now, in order to develop this detachment, Bhajagovindam is the most simple and most effective tool. There he says, Shankara, Kastvam koham kuta ayataha, kame janani kome tataha, iti paribhavaya sarvamataram, vishwam chakva swapna vicharam. The whole universe, Vishwam, is asaram. There is no substance, insubstantial. That you must understand first. Iti paribhavaya. Sarvam Vishwam asaram. Tyaktva swapna vicharam. This is all only dream. When we come out of the dream, do we care for the dream? Whether we were happy in the dream, whether we were miserable in the dream, we forget it immediately. Same way, when something happy happens, when something miserable happens, it should be treated as a dream. Tyaktva swapna vicharam kastvam koham kuta ayataha kame janani kome tataha. Because we develop attachment to those who are close to us, so he is listing them. First of all, who I am. I am not the body. Who you are not the body. You start from there. Kuta ayata, from where you came. Do you know from where you came? You don't know. So it is all a dream. In the dream, people come and go. In the dream, people suddenly appear, suddenly vanish. Kame idanani kome tataha. Who is my mother? Who is my father? This mother and father are for this janma. Were they the same in my previous janma or in my future janmas? In my future births, am I going to continue to have the same father, same mother? No. Crores of mothers and crores of fathers I have dealt with. So this is also another birth. It does not mean that you disrespect your father and mother. This is not a Dharma Shastra. This is for practicing Viveka. He continues, Mayichan anya yogena bhaktir avyabhicharini vivikta deshate vitvam aratir jana samsati. Now he continues with the virtues which we have practiced. Mayi cha ananya yogena bhakti avyabhicharini. Bhakti is the only two-syllable term which is the noun. All the others are qualifying adjectives. How should bhakti be practiced? Devotion, how should be practiced? First, it should be avyabhicharini. No change. Vyabhichara is change. Vyabhichara is not being constant. So you should be constant in your bhakti, number one. Number two, Mayika ananya yogena. Even when you claim to be constant, your attention may be diverted to something else. But that is what Bhagavan said earlier. When you were indulging in, engaged in mundane activities, do not forget Bhagavan. He said that clearly. He said that clearly. You cannot afford to forget Bhagavan and engage in mundane activities. Both you should do, he said. So that is what he is saying. Mayacha ananya yogena, with no separation from me. My attachment to me should be continuous. That is bhakti. With that bhakti, vivikta desha sevitvam, sometimes you should do meditation also. Not simply engage yourself only in mundane activities. For that, you should go to a place where nobody will come and bother you. So, vivikta desha sevitvam is you practice being alone. Now, how Shankara explains vivikta desha sevitvam. Viviktaha svabhavataha samskarena va ashuchyadibihi sarpachora vyaghra bhayadibhishya rahitaha. A place which is naturally pure or which has been purified. This is the first qualification he gives to that place where you should sit for meditation. It should be naturally pure, like a river bank, or it should have been purified by you. And it should be free from dangers of snakes, thieves, tigers, etc. Those fears should not bother you. Sarpachora vyaghra bhayadi vicharahitaha. Aranya Nadipurina Devagrahadihi. He is giving examples of where meditation being practiced by rishis. They practice in forest, Aranya. Nadipurina on the river bank. Devagrahadi, temples. These are the places where you can. Of course, nowadays temples are so busy with people. It is difficult to practice meditation inside the temple, but there are corners inside the temple also. There are tank bunds inside the temple also. Vivikta Desha Sevitvam. Aratihi Janasamsadi. This is a continuation of the same thought. Do not get attached to groups of people. Some people can never be alone. Some people detest loneliness. They have to be surrounded by politicians in general. That is their profession, to be surrounded by people. So that is not good for this practice. This practice of moksha sadhana, that is not good. Aratihi janasamsadi, not being attached to groups of people. Which groups of people? If they are good people, fine, it is good. Jananam prakritanam samskara shunyanam avineetanam samsat samavayaha janasamsat. Which janasamsat Bhagavan is talking about? Which group of people he is talking about? Prakritanam, those who are not cultured. Samskara shunyanam, they have never undergone any samskaras. I don't believe in Upanayana. I don't believe in Vivaha. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in Shashti. I don't care. My parents never underwent Shashti. I don't want to change my Yajnopavita. There are people. Nowadays, there are a lot of people. Samskara shunyanam, avinitanam. This is most important. Those who do not have any humility. Unless you have humility, how can you practice moksha sadhana? So, avoid such group. अतः प्राकृत जनसंसदि अरतिः ज्ञानार्थत्वात् ज्ञानम्. Now all this will lead to jnana. They are not jnana by themselves, which he is going to explain in the next shloka. असक्तिरणभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि. There is a saying in Subhashitam which I wanted to quote here. Sangaha sarvatmana tyajyaha sachet tyaktum na shakyate sasadbhissaha kartavyaha satam sangohi bheshajam. Avoid company of people. If you cannot avoid, for whatever reason, if you cannot avoid a company of people, choose the people whom you are surrounded with. They should be good people. Sadbhihi saha kartavyaha satam sango hi bheshajam. Only satsanga is the medicine for the samsara. Adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam eta jnanamiti proktam ajnanam yadatonyatha. Now he is going to conclude what he is considering as jnana. How can this become jnana? All that list of virtues. Etad jnanam iti proktam. This is called jnana. Ajnanam yadataha anyatha. Whatever I have not listed, whatever is opposed to this is ajnana. This is defined by Bhagavan himself. How can this be jnana? Jnana is realization of Paramatma. That alone is jnana. Everything else is ajnana. That Bhagavan himself has defined. Anything other than not realizing Paramatma is no use. That is anatma. Then this is all definitely not by itself realizing Paramatma. Then how can he define it as jnana? This question is being answered by Shankara. The answer is that these are the essential requirements for attaining that jnana. So requirements themselves constitute jnana. The path itself is the goal. This he has mentioned earlier also. Bhagavan has mentioned earlier also. Path is itself the goal, because when you are on the path, Bhagavan holds you by the hand and takes you forward. That is his kripa. That is being explained in chapter 18. If you are on the path of the virtuous, Bhagavan holds your hand and takes you forward. So that is why you are already on the path of jnana. So that is jnana itself. Adhyatma jnana nityatvam. That means always be attached to Atma. Don't be attached to anything other than Atma. Be constant in that, Nityatva. Be constant. Don't waver. That I am Atma, I am not the body. All this Sukha, Dukha, etc. pertain to the body, pertain to the mind. They don't pertain to my Atma, because I am Sati Chiti Ananda Swarupi. This is Adhyatma Jnana Nityatva. Tattvajnanartha darshanam. For being in that constant position, you have to remind yourself of Bhagavad Gita's teachings. Tattvajnana artha darshanam. Tattvajnana being taught by Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, etc. That is Tattvajnana. Reality. That is the knowledge of reality. That knowledge of reality, what is the meaning that is being taught in those books, that you understand properly. Remind yourself of that again and again. Amanitvadinam jnana sadhananam bhavana paripaka nimittam tattvajnanam. Once you remind yourself of all these things, then these qualities, starting with amanitva, adamritva, etc., they are all jnana sadhanas, even according to Shankara. Those sadhanas, bhavana paripaka nimittam, they will come to fruition. You may start practicing, but you may not be an expert in practicing those virtues. But you have to go on mastering those virtues. So this will help. Which will help? Remembering the meaning of what you have been taught in Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, etc. Etat jnanamiti proktam. तत्वज्ञान अर्थः मोक्षः संसार उपरमः तस्य आलोचनं तत्वज्ञानार्थ दर्शनम्. तत्वज्ञान फलालोचने हि तत्साधन अनुष्ठाने प्रवृत्तिः स्यात् इति. what Shankara is explaining very simple terms. Unless you understand what Tattva Jnana will give you, that fruit, you will not have enough attention to that. So, in order to develop enough attention to that, keep remembering Tattva Jnana. So, Ajnanam Yadataha Anyatha, whatever is opposed to this, like Manitvam, Dambhitvam, Himsa, Akshantihi, Anarjavam, Ityadi, Ajnanam, Vigyayam, Pariharanaya, Samsara, Pravritti Karanatvat. In order to be careful to avoid those opposites of virtues, vices, you have to be careful. Samsara pravritti karanatvat, because they will lead you more and more into the mire of samsara, so be careful. That is why he says, Ajnanam yadataha anyatha. Otherwise, there was no need for Bhagavan to add that. Etat jnanam iti proktam, that is good enough. Because we have a tendency towards all this manatvam, dambhitvam, etc., himsa, etc. Bhagavan is warning us, that is a warning. ज्ञेयं यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा अमृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते. So far, the subjects covered by Bhagavan are the description of the body, the overall description of Kshetrajna, Paramatma, and the means of our attaining Paramatma, the qualities which we have to develop. Now, Paramatma himself has not been discussed in sufficient detail, which now he has taken up. Jnayam, yat tat pravakshami, yat jnayam, what is to be known, that I am going to tell you. Yajñātva amritam asnute, by knowing that, you will attain immortality. Amritam asnute, asnute means eating, consuming. That means what? You will experience. So, Amritam Ashnute. So, that immortality you will experience by knowing what is to be known. Jnayam. What is to be known? Paramatma is to be known. Anadipat param brahmana sattannāsadachyate. Now he is starting describing that param brahma. Anadimat. It is beginningless. Can anyone say when Paramatma came into being? No. Eternal. न सत न असत उच्यते. न सत tat न asat uchyate. So many words are there in this one phrase. न सत tat न asat uchyate. That Parabrahman is spoken of, uchyate, as na sat na asat. It is neither existent nor non-existent. If something is non-existent, how can we attain? So it has to exist, but he is saying it is neither existent nor non-existent. So for this, Shankara has gone into tremendous amount of explanation. Tremendous. Because it's a Vedantic criticality. And he's quoting extensively from Vedas, Smritis, and so many, Mahabharata, etc., etc. Now, let me summarize the core of what he is telling us. Why it is neither Sati nor Asati. That is the subject. Neti Neti, Asthulam, Ananu. These are the descriptions of Parabrahman in Upanishads. You have to go into each aspect and find that that is not Parabrahman. Neti Neti. The only way to describe Parabrahman is by negativing which is not Parabrahman. Because to describe Parabrahman is beyond Upanishads. Upanishad never describes Parabrahman. There is a description of Sati Chiti Anandam as an approximation. This concept we have seen before. So to that extent, it is na Sati, na Asati. It is there, but I cannot describe it. Astholam Ananu. It is neither very small nor very large. These are the various descriptions which you find in Upanishads. Atindriyattvena uvayabuddhanuvata pratyaya vishayam syat. If it is existing, I must be able to understand. If it is not existing, I must be able to prove that it does not exist. Both ways I am unable to do. I cannot prove it doesn't exist because there is an entire amount of proof around me that Parabrahman exists, apart from the teachings of Vedas. So, atindriyatvena, because it is beyond the scope of sense organs, I cannot do anything about it. Shabdaika pramanagamyatvat. The only proof I have is Veda. Shabdaika pramanagamyatvat. Now, how to describe it as not this, neti, neti. Now, he is giving some examples. Shankara gives some examples. Brahma na jati mate. It does not conform to a particular species. Jati is species here. Gauhu, Ashwaha. It is not cow. It is not horse. Because if you define it as a cow, then horse is not contained in that description. So this is the exclusivity. Now, Gunavat, it is not associated with any particular characteristic. Shuklaha, Krishnaha. Is it white? It is black? No. Now, Kriyavat, can it be associated with any activity? Pachati, Pathati. He is able to digest. He is able to read about somebody. We are saying he is reading. He is able to digest, etc. Can we say such activity in respect to Parabrahman? We don't know. We cannot say that. If you say that, if he is engaged in a particular activity, he is not engaged in any other activity. But the all-encompassing nature of Parabrahman is being excluded by defining it in these ways. So I cannot define. That is the conclusion. The sambandhavat, I cannot define him by any relationship. Dhani, Goman, etc. He is wealthy. That means somebody who is poor is excluded. Goman, somebody who is having cattle wealth. The wealth was in terms of cattle in Shankara's days. Nishkalam, Nishkriyam, Shantam. This is the only description which is available in the Upanishad, Shvetashvatara Upanishad. He is free from any activity. He is free from any parts. Nishkalam. He is a whole which cannot be broken into parts. Shantam. He is at peace with himself. That's the only thing I can say. Advayatvat, Avishayatvat, Atmatvacha, Nakenachit Shabdena Uchate. I cannot find any word to describe Paramatma because there is no second Paramatma. There is only one Paramatma. If I create a word has got its own limitation, so I cannot describe him. And he is not a subject matter for description, and he is inside me, Atmatvati. What makes me describe is Paramatma. What makes me enter into an activity is Paramatma. So I cannot describe him. Yato vacho vartante aprapya manasa saha. Upanishad says this. Words cannot describe him. Even mind cannot reach him. That means the scope of the mind is limited to mundane things. It cannot go to Paramatma. Now, some examples are being given in Vedantic literature. Surya has never seen darkness. Wherever Surya goes, there is light. Darkness he has never seen. Does it mean darkness does not exist? It exists. So similarly, once you describe as one, the exclusion comes automatically. So here we don't want to exclude anything because both light and darkness are Paramatma. Another thing is Sat is defined as Karya and Asat is defined as Karana. In some cases we have seen before. The cause and effect. Now Paramatma is both cause and effect. So you cannot define it. Some places we are describing Sat and Asat as good and evil. We have described Sat as good, Asat as evil. But can Paramatma be described as good or evil? No, he is beyond all this. He is beyond all this. So I cannot describe him. Na Sat, na Asat, Kuchate. So that is how Shankara has given a very detailed, very beautiful explanation. I tried to summarize a little bit of that. अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा ज्ञेयं यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न तत्तन्नातदुच्यते सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखम् सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति. So, having said, it defies description, it cannot be described in words. So Bhagavan is attempting some description in order to give us some guiding posts. Some guide posts are required for us to go, for us to advance. So these are the posts. Sarvata Panipadam Tat. It has Pani and Pada, that is hands and feet, everywhere. Paramatma has hands and feet everywhere. Means what? All the hands and all the feet that you see in front of you, including your own, belong to Paramatma. Tat sarvatokshi shiromukham. Tat refers to Paramatma because Paramatma is neither masculine nor feminine. Brahman, Parabrahman. So it is always Tat. Sarvataha akshi shiraha mukham. It has eyes everywhere. It has heads everywhere. It has faces everywhere. Sarvataha Shrutimat, it has ears everywhere. Loke Sarvam Avritya Tishtati. It is encompassing everything in this world. Whatever you see around you, including your own body, it encompasses everything. But it has no parts. It is free from parts. It is a whole, but it looks like so many hands, so many eyes. So this is being explained in Upanishads in this manner. Apanipado javano grihita pasyatya chakshuhu sachrunotyakarnaha. So how does Paramatma function? Does he have hands and feet? No. Does he have ears and eyes? No. But he functions. So this is the beauty of Paramatma. Apanipado javano grihita. You need, for moving from one place to another, you need feet. For grasping some object in your hand, you need hands. But he does all this. He moves, he grasps without hands and feet. Pasyat achakshuhu, without eyes, he is able to see. Sasrunotyakarnaha, without ears, he is able to hear. This is the beauty. Sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarvabhrichaiva nirgunam gunabhoktricha. You will find a lot of opposing, contrary descriptions. So that is the only way. Neti neti, we said, na? He is explaining that. Sarvendriya guna abhasam. Indriya gunas. Every sense organ has got a certain characteristic. Now all the sense organs are able to maintain their characteristics because of the light which Paramatma throws on them. In fact, devatas are associated with our sense organs. Surya is associated with our eyes, for example. Without Surya, we cannot use our eyes. Similarly, direction, devatas of directions are associated with our ears because the sound reaches from all directions. So similarly, all our indriyas function because of the light thrown by Paramatma. Sarvendriya gunabhasam. Buddhi indriya karmendriya akhyani. Not only what you see from outside, even the buddhi, that is also jnanendriya. All jnanendriyas report to buddhi ultimately. So buddhi indriya karmendriya akhyani antakarane cha buddhi manasi. Deyopaditya tulyatvat sarvendriya grahanena drishyante. Even the antakarana, buddhi, manas, etc. should be understood as being included in this description according to Shankara. That means all of them, including the mind, including the intellect, function because of Paramatma, light through reflected light of Paramatma. That is Abhasa. Sarvendriya Vivarjitam. So, shall we say all the sense organs constitute Paramatma? No. He is free from all the sense organs. Sense organs have nothing to do with that. By reflected light, these are functioning. But he doesn't care. He is not associated with them. Because once you take association, then you will start using them as instruments. These instruments are of no use in reaching Paramatma. सर्वकरणरहितम् अतः न करणव्यापारैः व्यापृतं तत् ज्ञेयम्. The activities of sense organs do not have anything to do with Paramatma. They are driven by mind and intellect, not Paramatma. That we have to remember. Asaktam sarvabhritchaiva nirgunam gunabhoktru cha. Asaktam. He has no attachment to anything. Paramatma has no attachment to anything. Sarva Bhriti. Okay, he is not attached to anything, but who is supporting all of us? We agree that Paramatma is supporting all of us. Yes, Sarva Bhriti. He is the supporter of all. That is the beauty. This is the contrariness. He supports everything, but he is not attached to anything. We should learn this. We should support those who are dependent on us, but we should not be attached to them. That is why he is giving this description. Asaktam sarvabhritchaiva nirgunam gunabhoktru cha. He is himself not having any qualities. No quality, like we described earlier. Na? Is he white? Is he black? Is he good? Is he evil? He is beyond all this. But he supports all the gunas. If somebody is good, we say he is good because of Paramatma. If somebody is evil, that is also because of Paramatma. Because Paramatma has made him evil because of his past karmas. So he has to go through that. He cannot escape that. So that law is being enforced by Paramatma. So he has made him evil. So this is Guna Bhoktru. So he appears to enjoy. Bhokta is enjoyer. He appears to enjoy experience. Enjoy means experience. He appears to experience good and evil, intelligent and dull, etc., etc. All these gunas he appears to, but he is beyond all this. Nirgunam, gunabhoktru. So all these contrary things are coming up for our understanding. Sarvata panipadam tat sarvatokshi shiromukham sarvata shrutimaloke sarvam avritya tishtati sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarvabhrijchaiva nirgunam gunabhoktru cha बहिरन्तश्च भूतानाम् अचरं चरमेव च सूक्ष्मत्वात् तत् अविज्ञेयम् दूरस्थं चान्तिके च यत्. Now further descriptions of Paramatma. Bahihi antascha bhutanam. For all living beings, he is both inside and outside. Is it possible? If something is inside, can it be outside? Because all mundane objects have this limitation of space and time. If you are present in one place, you cannot be present in another place. If you are present in a particular time, you cannot be present in another time. Because space and time are our limitations. Paramatma does not have this limit because space and time are created by him for our experiences. For living beings to go through various experiences, Paramatma has created space and time. These are his creations. These are like a dream. So he is beyond all this. So he is present everywhere. So he is present inside the living being as well as outside the living being. Acharam charamevacha. Some beings are able to move. Some beings are unable to move like a mountain, like a tree. So does the tree exclude Paramatma? Does the mountain exclude Paramatma? No. He is all. What moves not and what moves. Because all are created and supported by Paramatma. Sukshmatvat tat avijneyam durastham cha antike cha tat that Paramatma. Sukshmatvat avijneyam, because it is very subtle, something which is very subtle, something which is very subtle for us to see, we use a microscope. Something which is very subtle from a distance, durastham cha antike cha tat. Something which is very distant, something which is very near. If something is very distant, we use a telescope. Microscope, telescope, all these are of no use in finding Paramatma because he is too subtle for all these instruments. And he is at such a great distance, no telescope can reach him. Now, but it has a philosophical meaning. It is subtle, so you don't use your intellect for understanding him. Because people use intellect, isn't it? That is why all these arguments and counter arguments come. He is too subtle for all these arguments. He is beyond all arguments. So just understand that Paramatma exists and we have to reach him. Just that much is good enough. Durastham, he is at a very great distance for those who are ignorant. For those who are ignorant, for those who do not want to tread the path of Adhyatma, he is definitely very far. Antike, he is very near, extremely close. He is your own Atma. For those who realize, all this description which we have seen so far, that shows that he is the guiding spirit for all our activities. He is very much inside us, Antike. Can anyone be closer than our own Atma, who is motivating us, who is guiding us? So that realization, Duratham cha antike cha tat. So for some people he is at very far distance, for some people he is very near, and he is very subtle. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is something called Chatusloki, 4 slokas. Bhagavatam should not be taken as only Krishna Leelas. Krishna Leelas are no doubt very, very important part of Bhagavatam. But Bhagavatam consists of 12 skandhas. And out of that, only 2 skandhas are about Krishna. And there are 10 skandhas which are about so many other avatars and so many other philosophies. Now, in one of those skandhas, there is something called Chatushloki Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam contained in 4 slokas. And if you read those 4 slokas, they are exactly what we are now discussing. The philosophy of Paramatma, the philosophy of samsara, and the philosophy of how to reach Paramatma. So there, this is spoken by Bhagavan himself. These 4 slokas are spoken by Bhagavan himself. So he says there, Ahameva tameva agre nanyat yat sadasat param. At the beginning of the creation, I only was there. Nobody else was there. Sat, asat, param. I am beyond Sat and Asat. We have just seen that. Paschadaham yatetakcha yo vashishyeta sosmiham. Okay, creation is done. After creation, again there is destruction. Everything is gone. Who is left behind? Only I. Paschadaham yatetakcha. Whatever is there, after all this is over, is also myself. Yo vashishyeta sosmiham. Only I remain. Nobody else remains. So this shows the subtleness of Paramatma. Dakhram vipapam parameshma bhutam yat pundarekam puramadhyadaggastam tatrapi dakhram paramam vishokaha yat tadupasitavyam. This is a mantra from Veda which we use while greeting a sannyasi, while giving Purna Kumbha to sannyasi. So there we are saying this. Dakhram vipapam, so that which is remaining inside the heart, which is so subtle, which is so pure, and he is called Paramatma, Parameshma Bhutam, Pundarikam, etc. That is the description of the lotus in the heart, which is as per Narayana Sukta. Tat upasitavyam. So one should do upasana, one should worship that Atma only. So sannyasis have realized this, so we use this mantra to greet them. So that is सूक्ष्मत्वात् तत् अविज्ञेयं दूरस्थं च अन्तिके च तत् अविभक्तं च भूतेषु विभक्तमिव च स्थितं भूतभर्तृ च तज्ज्ञेयं ग्रसिष्णं प्रभविष्णु च सेम थॉट being continued अविभक्तं च भूतेषु he is appearing as if he is divided among so many living beings, isn't it? My body is different from somebody else's body. I find crores of bodies around me. So he is divided into crores of beings. No. Crores of beings appear to be in him. He is not divided. He is one whole, but all these are appearances on him. So that we must understand. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktamiva cha sthitam. He looks as if he is divided, but he is not divided. Bhuta Bhartri Jata Jneyam. Okay, he is not divided, but who is supporting all these living beings? Only he. Who has created all these beings? Prabha Vishnu, he is the one who created. Grasishnu, who is going to destroy all these? All these living beings are temporary. They come and go. Another group of beings will come. And there will be a time when no being will be there on earth. Earth itself will disappear. So, who is doing that? Only Paramatma. So he is the one who creates Prabha Vishnu. He is the one who supports Bhuta Bhartru. He is the one who destroys when the time comes. Grasishnu. You must understand this. That is Jneyam. This is what you have to know about Paramatma. बहिरन्तश्च भूतानाम् अचरं चरमेव च सूक्ष्मत्वात् तदविज्ञेयं दूरस्थं चान्तिके च तत् अविभक्तं च भूतेषु विभक्तमिव च स्थितं भूतभर्तृ च तज्ज्ञेयं ग्रसिष्णुप्रभविष्णु च ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः तमसः परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितम्. Some more descriptions of Paramatma. Because it is very normal and easy for us to understand light is Paramatma. Even we use the term Abhasa, reflected light. Light is Paramatma. Darkness is not Paramatma. This is a common understanding. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Lead me from darkness to light. Because ignorance is darkness and knowledge is light. This is our understanding. This, we have been told from beginning. All the Upanishads start with this teaching. So here he is taking that as example. Jyotisham api tat jyotihi. We see so many sources of light around Surya, Chandra, Agni. But all these have a common source, and that is Paramatma. So he is the light of all lights. Jyotisham api tat jyotihi. न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकम् नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तम् अनुभाति सर्वम् तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति. This is the Upanishad mantra which that is light. Bhagavan is light, and we are saying this is light. So we are praying, lead us towards that light. So here he says, all this sun, moon, all these nakshatras, they all are no sources of light by themselves. Then what about Agni? If Surya, Chandra and nakshatras are not sources of light, what about Agni? No need to say about Agni. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. All these are following Paramatma to derive their light. They are followers of Paramatma. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. It makes it very clear. Because of Paramatma's light, all these are throwing light. So that is Jyotisham api tajyotihi tamasa param uchyate. Beyond all darkness. Samsara is defined as darkness in Vedanta. So he is on the other shore of samsara. So, I mean, these are all descriptions to make us understand. He is everything. He is also samsara. He is also the ocean. That is another aspect. But for us to be able to clearly understand our goal and our progress, we have to understand that he is on the other shore of samsara. He is light and we are in darkness. As if we are in a dark room, there is light outside the room. Will you not try to get out of the dark room and go towards the light? That is what it is. Tamatha paramichyate, beyond all darkness. Jnanam jneyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vishtitam. Sarvasya hridi vishtitam. You don't have to go in search of him outside. He is there in your heart. Is he there in the heart of only one being, only saints? No, sarvasya. All living beings, right from the smallest ant to Chaturmukha Brahma, in the hearts of all living beings, he is present. Jnanam, Jneyam, Jnana Gamyam. He is the one to be known, Jneyam, that is very clear. Unless we know him, we don't have a desire to reach him, so we have to know him. He is the one to be known. Jnanam, he is the process of knowing him, knowledge. That why it is equated to Paramatma, we have seen before. Before we reach Paramatma, we need the path. That path itself is Paramatma because it leads to him. Jnanam. Jnana Gamyam. Through the process of Jnana, he is attainable. This is an assurance. Having taken to Jnana, will you attain him or not? Yes, definitely I will attain him. That assurance is being given here. Jnana Samanakaline Vishayah Jneyah. Jnana Uttarakaline Vishayastu Phalam Jnana Gamyaha Ityarthaha. In the process, when you are on the path, he is Jnaya, he is to be known. Once you have reached the destination, he is Jnana Gamya. That is the simple distinction. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam jneyam choktam samasataha madbhakta etad vijñāye madbhāvāyopapadyate. Now he is concluding the whole thing. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam jneyam cha uktam samasataha. In brief, I have explained what is kshetra, what is jnana, what is jneya, what is the body, what is Paramatma, and what is the process of knowing him, knowledge. All that I have explained in brief. Madbhakta etati vijñāye madbhāvāya upapadyate. What is the use of knowing all this? Bhagavan has spent so much time and he is asking us to understand. What for? He is giving the fruit of that. Madbhakta, one who is my devotee, etati vijñāye, knowing this, knowing what is kshetra, knowing what is jnana, knowing what is jneya. If he knows that, madbhavaya upapadyate, he reaches me. Madbhavaya upapadyate means he reaches me. He reaches my state. Madbhava is my state. He attains my state. Now, Madbhaktaha Mayi Parameshware Sarvajne Paramagurau Vasudeve Samarpita Sarvatma Bhavaha. He has surrendered himself completely to me. I am Sarvajna, I am Paramaguru, I am Parameshwara. That is why Madbhaktaha. Samarpita Sarvatma Bhavaha. Yat Pashyati Shrunoti Sprashati Va Sarvameva Bhagavan Vasudeva Yati Evam Grahavishta Buddhi Madbhaktaha. Who is Madbhaktaha? Again, Shankara is going into a description. Whatever he sees, whatever he touches, whatever he hears, all are Bhagavan Vasudeva only. That he is determined. Iti evam graha avishta buddhihi madbhaktaha. Saha etati yathoktam samyak darshanam vijñāya. Whatever I have, knowledge I have given in all these shlokas, having understood that, that is samyak darshanam, the right knowledge. मम भावः परमात्म भावः तस्मै मद्भावाय उपपद्यते परमात्म भाव मद्भावः is परमात्म भावः the state of paramatma he attains in short moksham gacchati he concludes Shankara concludes in short he attains moksha विलक्षणः स्थूलसूक्ष्मात् देहादात् आत्म ईक्षिता स्वदृक् यथाग्निर्दारुणो दाक्ष्यात् दाहकोऽन्यः प्रकाशकः. Another quotation from Uddhava Gita, that is, just as Agni makes a red hot iron look like Agni, isn't it? Red hot iron looks like Agni, but it is not Agni. Similarly, we are not Agni. We have to become Agni, like that red hot iron. So we have to go close to that Agni, isn't it? Vilakshanaha stula sukshmatu dehad atma ikshita swadrik. It is the Sakshi, it is the one which sees everything. Paramatma sees everything. It is beyond Stula and Sukshma, subtle and gross, and beyond the body. It is so subtle, we have to finally reach him. So that is the summary given in Uddhava Gita. ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः तमसः परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितम् इति क्षेत्रं तथा ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं चोक्तं समासतः मद्भक्त एतद्विज्ञाय मद्भावायोपपद्यते. We stop now. We continue with some more shlokas are there in this chapter. We continue with them in our next session. We meet again next Saturday at 7:30 PM IST. Any questions?
Anyone has any questions? Can you kindly unmute and ask?
Yeah, those who have questions, please unmute yourselves and turn on your video, please. Any questions, anybody?
No questions, sir.
No questions. Okay. So we close for the day and we meet again next Saturday at 7:30 PM IST. नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव सर्वत्र गोविंद नाम संकीर्तनं गोविंद गोविंद श्री राजराजेश्वर्यै जय जय.
Thank you, sir.